James Charles did an oopsie. Projared update oopsie. Yay! Logan Paul oopsie. Is anyone surprised? And Poppy Gloria oopsie. Wait, that's me. Good evening. I'm Poppy Gloria. Welcome to Pew News. Last week, Poppy Gloria discussed the drama between James Charles and Tati. PewDiePie definitely missed the mark with this video about Tati and James. Think PewDiePie completely missed the point on that video. PewDiePie video had no research. I really wish he did more research on YouTube drama. Do your research! I think PewDiePie did do it, read that back. Due to poor research that does not represent the hard-working, esteemed staff here at Pew News, we have decided to let go Poppy Gloria from our news team and is terminated immediately. Wait a minute. You can't fire me! I'm Poppy Gloria, goddammit! Good evening. I'm Mary Ham. Excited to jump aboard the Pew News team. What can my slogan be? I like ham. So what did I get? I mean, what did Poppy Gloria get wrong from last week? Well, people pointed out that James didn't delete the sugar bear hair Insta story, and when he apologized, he kept it up for 24 hours. Well, probably because there was some sort of contract. There was an hashtag ad on the upper left corner of his Insta story. Well, probably because there was some sort of contract. Sugar Bear Hair is the biggest competitor of Halo Beauty, and SBH even dissed Tati in a reply. Okay. Well, it's almost like Poppy Gloria said that in the last video.
Tati's product is for health and beauty. Yes, the company does do those type as well, but he specifically held up this bag of bottle of sleep pills, and that's what he talked about.
So maybe you should do some research, goddammit! I loved Poppy Gloria. She was like a father to me. Clearly, I didn't understand everything about what's going on. There's a lot of nuances. There's a lot of layers. There's a lot of onions. And yes, I brushed over some points just to save time. I didn't want to make another 43-minute video. I didn't talk about how she criticized James for over-sexualizing his content to a very young audience. How James has a way of manipulating and getting what he wants. And Tati obviously being fed up with that. My point was that I don't think Tati was completely innocent and justified in making that video. And a lot of the stories doesn't add up to me. As someone from an industry perspective as well, and seeing someone's career being completely destroyed over what seems to me some drama that could easily be resolved between the two of them, I feel a bit uncomfortable with that. Jesus Christ, it's still going. So a lot of people in regards to James Charles have been throwing around the word sexual predator, because allegedly James Charles has been abusing straight guys and to tricking them into being gay, or abusing his fame and influence or whatever to sway people in their sexuality. The thing, however, that I think is pretty important to bring up is that the person that Tati brings up in her video saying that, oh, the waiter, he was straight.
In detail about things you wanted to do to the waiter. And when I said, James, he's straight, your response was, doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity.
Obviously, that's disgusting to have some sort of idea that, oh, I can do whatever I want because I'm a celebrity. I can also see that being said as a joke, okay? I don't know. It depends on the context. Regardless, it turns out the waiter made a video and he says he was bi-curious.
Invited me out to his hotel. At that time, I was bi-curious.
And when I said, James, he's straight.
James, he's straight. Okay, well, I guess he wasn't. So he said that he didn't previously know who James was.
Didn't know who James Charles was.
He said that he's the one who contacted James afterwards.
The next day, my sister convinced me to direct message James Charles. He asked to kiss me. And I was very nervous because I had never done anything with a guy and I was bi-curious. So I said yes. We ended up making out for around an hour. And if I'm being honest, he's the worst kisser.
Oh!
Way too much.
He's bad at kissing. So clearly, maybe there are other instances. I haven't seen any proof that James has sexually abused or harassed someone in the sense of trying to convince them that they're gay. Maybe being pushy, yes, I don't know. But so at least in this context that Tati brought up that made this whole thing explode, she was wrong about the allegations. The other argument that was brought up to justify this whole ordeal was that James Charles promoted Sugar Bear whatever.
You went to Coachella, somehow had a security issue, and magically Sugar Bear Hair is there with a contract in hand to save the day for you and all of your friends. No company would ever go out of their way to have an extra, handful of passes that cost thousands of dollars a piece, like just in case.
Companies buy extra tickets all the time. I don't know how Tati doesn't know this. Big companies always gets tickets. If there's anyone that has tickets to events, it's always companies. So it's not weird at all that they had extra tickets to hand out. And now it turns out, seeing the text of the situation, it didn't seem like a planned thing or anything. It just seemed like it happened. But I think it's important to note that because of all this, false allegation came forward with a lot of people spreading around that information as well. There was this post on Twitter that got 24,000 retweets painting James Charles as this sort of predator, when clearly this was fabricated and false. This all started because Jeffree Star, another beauty community person, who called James a predator. Someone that is close, or at least in the circle of James Charles, calling him a predator seemed to back up that evidence, or that idea that he's some sort of predator going after people. When we know now, there's no real evidence to support that, and even deleted this tweet. Tati made this video talking about her own brand. The video has 50 million views. She probably made between 100,000 to 1 million off of this video alone. And in sales of this product that she heavily promoted. It's the top link in the description, and there's a card showing up to it, and she talks about it for an extensive amount of time. This to me sets a dangerous precedent of how much supported it is to make these type of videos, even if you don't have all the facts or whatever straight. I don't think this was her intention, but it's pretty crazy. Now, here's what I think, okay? I have it all figured out. All right, follow me here. James Charles is a dumbass, okay? He promoted these pills as a thank you to this brand that helped him. Without thinking too much about it, he promoted them, or he ignored the fact that Tati might get upset. Either way, the result was the same. James, under contract, couldn't delete the post right away, but just apologized to Tati. Tati got really upset.
That's the bad part of Hollywood. Welcome to business. Everybody says what they need to say and uses who they need to use to get ahead, and I have had about enough.
Tati is fed up with people walking over her, or at least people in the industry doing that to get ahead. So she realizes, oh, I'm gonna do that then. I'm had enough with this James guy. I'm sick of him always getting what he wants. I'm sick of him getting away with bad behavior. He threw me under the bus, so now I'm gonna throw him under the bus. And instead of calling or talking to James or picking up his calls, she decides she's gonna do this video no matter what, because she's had enough. Not realizing just how massive this thing would be. In my opinion, if this whole thing stayed in the beauty community, she would have gone completely fine. But since it's got mainstream, it's clear that people saw through or poked hole in her motives. She realized this is not at all what she wanted, and made this video now to try and stop it. And that's how all this drama started.
Yes, I just pray that we can all be kind with each other through this, and I'm gonna take a time out, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna continue to play with makeup because it makes me the happiest.
I think this video feels more like what the first one should have been. There was clearly a lot of anger. I actually genuinely think she didn't want any of these consequences. She hit twice as many subscribers, and I don't think she's proudly saying, oh, I'm so happy I got this diamond plague button. It doesn't look like anyone is happier after this whole ordeal.
I don't want you guys to subscribe. I don't want you to feel bad for me. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. This is not about me. I don't hate him, and I love him. And I don't think he'll get that for a really, really long time. And I don't think anyone will.
Now, I didn't completely jump on the F James Charles bandwagon when I did my first video. Enough people were already doing that, and I didn't really see a point in it. I'm not as inclined to throw someone under the bus because I know what that feels like to happen to you. And since a lot of the things that were presented didn't make sense, I didn't do it as well. And I'm really glad I didn't, because yes, I don't think James Charles is completely faultless. That's not my point again. But clearly a lot of these allegations have turned out to be true, or not as intense as described. You have all these people that immediately unfollow James after this whole ordeal. And people that are pretty controversial figures as well, like Shane and I know Amber Chamberlain and Jeffrey. They're not squeaky clean YouTubers. Everyone just jumped off the James Charles ship as fast as they could. James lost a fifth of his audience or more. His tour is most likely going to be cancelled. Multiple brand deals are likely to be cancelled. Relationships ruined because of this. And it sounds to me like he needed some sort of wake-up call, and I think this video will actually do him good. But if the whole thing was worth it, I don't think so. And I still stand by, I think Tati should have just reached out to James to sort it out. This is what happens when you bring your personal issues to public. I don't think it's a good idea. Next news. Good morning, actually. My name is Mary Hay. I was just about to upload this video, but James Charles uploaded his response video called No More Lies. It's 41 minutes long. I'll try my best to summarize it because I think it's necessary to bring up. Basically explains the Coachella situation in very similar way of what I thought it was.
For those of you who may not be familiar with Coachella, I do want to quickly clarify the different passes just because it kind of is important to this whole situation. VIP, although VIP, is still very, very open to the public. Artist passes, however, are passes that you cannot buy. The only way you can get a hold of them is through a brand getting them from the actual festival or through having a personal connection to one of the artists or bands that are playing.
You went to Coachella, somehow had a security issue, and magically Sugar Bear Hair is there with a contract in hand to save the day for you and all of your friends. That leads me to believe that this was orchestrated beforehand, but he had an emotional conflict because of me and promises he made to me behind the scenes. So he had to come up with a very clever story and didn't tell me right when he got back, but after.
Despite what Tati said in her video, this whole situation was definitely not a big scheme that was orchestrated beforehand. It really did happen on the spot. The Sugar Bear Hair team texted me the proposal right away. No money was involved, and with no time to negotiate in a panic, I signed, and that was that on that.
The thing is, James Charles, there's so much fucking money in the beauty community. I don't think he needed to orchestrate this whole thing just to promote a product. I'm sure James Charles can get plenty of brand deals without going through all this effort. It just doesn't make any sense. He showed the text of him reaching out to Tati before the post went up, and Tati says that it breaks her heart that he's promoting this brand, and you can see that James is trying to explain how this whole happened. But to be honest, I understand why Tati is upset. I didn't really get it in the beginning, but if you're working as a sole person on creating something and your competition is this bigger company, and to have your friend promo that company I can see how that's hurtful. But just like Tati showed how she's shown so much support for James pointed out how he's shown a lot of support for Tati's brand as well.
It's a very important launch to me because it is my best friend Tati. She's launching something new on Halo Beauty, so go check it out.
Oh!
Which are the real ones?
Can I just say I love you guys for putting a Halo question in there.
We are.
I just received my package from Halo Beauty. This is Tati's brand new.
Again, I understand why Tati's upset, and I understand that there probably happened more between them for her to lash out to make this video. But I still think that for someone who's been a mentor for this person to make this video is still unjustified. James also addressed the sexual assault allegations. I don't know exactly what to call it, but he states that
Escape room.
he's a virgin.
First of all,